What's up, good people?
What's going on? What's going on, family?
Welcome to Seasoned as F. Today, we're going to be unpacking what it means to age in public. From selfies to soul bearing captions, is there such a thing as too much sharing when you're seasoned? Let's talk authenticity, privacy, and presence. What's up with you today, Skills?
Hey, I'm still trying to make it, still trying to be great every day. That's my motto. Strive for greatness every single day.
All
So
right. Well, you looking great.
thank you, my love. Thank you. How are you? You looking
Huh?
great as well?
Thank you so much. I am well. I do my very best not to complain. So, we are having a good time down here in the ATL. So all is well. Thank you so much for asking.
Good stuff. I'm happy to see you doing well. And don't think I ain't see the extra little, sun kiss you got at the top up there. I see you. I see you.
Oh, I like to spice things up a little now and again. All right. We're gonna get to it today because we'll be here goofing off if we let it happen. So I'm gonna jump in with a question for you around our topic today, which is kind of aging in public. How much do you share with the world at this seasoned age? Do you feel the pressure to maintain a certain image online as you age, Skills?
I wouldn't say there's a separation really between online and just me in general.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I try to represent myself in the best light in every aspect of it that I can because I do understand my brand and I understand what that means to me as well as what that means to the world. Is what I have to offer. So I think the there's no separation between the in person and the online for me. To me, they're one and the same. But I don't think that there's a big difference at this age. I don't think it has anything to do with anything that I've done in the past or how I've tried to represent myself in the past. I've always tried to, share the same light that I've always been able to. What about you?
For me, I am very similar. I feel like you get what you get. You get what you get online, you get the same thing in person. If I had to choose between the two, I'm much more of a real world type of girl than online. So I love to, I'm a big energy person. So being able to actually feel people's energy and kind of hear their voices and see the facial expressions, that is just way more my comfort zone. So there's not a difference between the online me and the in-person me, except that you have the added benefit of feeling the energy, that hopefully exudes and hopefully positive energy that exudes from me when you're actually in my presence. So that would probably be the main difference for me.
Okay,
Yeah.
understood.
So do you think that sharing your struggles online is empowering, or do you think that's oversharing? Because that's a big thing these days.
It is. I do know that everyone's story makes everyone else's life better. So I think it just for me, I think it just kind of depends on what it is. I don't think that the world is entitled to knowing all of my story and knowing all of who I am. That's just I'm just a firm believer in that. So I pick and choose what I would like to share online and what I like to share with anyone for that matter. Because I think sometimes when you share too much of yourself and too much of your world with people, they assume that they know you. And those things that you shared has now defined you. To one of the shows that I was on and a part of, people assumed that my character on that show was me. And like separate the two. It's a character, it's a role, it's something that I played, it's a person that I was for a show. It wasn't real life. So,
Mhm.
sometimes you have to be careful and cautious what you share with people online because they don't know how to separate the two. But then also when you're talking about the struggle, it definitely helps people to know that they're not the only ones dealing with the same issues. and some of the same things. So if I've survived something or I found a tool that I use to get through some part of life that I think will be helpful to someone else, absolutely, I'll believe in sharing that. But if it's something deep and personal that, I feel only certain people are entitled to know, then I'll be a little bit more guarded with that.
That makes sense. That makes sense. That's fair. Yeah.
What's your take? What you think?
So for me, I think at this point, if you know me at all in real life or from online, you know that I feel that I am much more of an in-person type of girl, right? So I consider myself fairly private, not because I don't want people to know things, but just because I feel like some things are, like you said, everybody's not entitled to that. That's, meant for close family, close friends, close acquaintances. And I learned from a mentor recently that she kind of delays what she posts. She doesn't necessarily post things in real time. Even if it's things that she's sharing, she might share it a couple of days or a couple of weeks after it actually happens. And she does it for security reasons sometimes because she's like, everybody doesn't need to always know exactly where you are and exactly what you're doing and those types of things. And I thought that that was a very smart thing to do. I don't have a hard time adopting that because I'm usually a late poster anyway. I always take a lot of footage because I like the memories of things. I'm always the type of person who everybody can come back to and say, Harmon, I know you got a picture or video from when we did this, and I do. And so I like to be a keeper of memories, but I also am not a big poster. So then I forget that I have the memory and I don't share it right away. And so I always end up posting things late anyway. So that's going to work out really well for me. But I think it's a good thing to do to possibly, post things in a delayed manner. So for me, I think that sharing certain things, like you said, if it's going to really help somebody or bless somebody, I think that certain things are empowering. And when you have a platform or you have people that listen to you or appreciate your advice, it's good to let them know that everything is not roses. A lot of times people only see the ending of something. You don't see all that went into the building of it. You don't see all of the struggle, the tears, the stress, the pain, the uncertainty and all the things that come with things. And sometimes that's really, really even more helpful information for people to know because they're often going through those things and thinking that they're alone. So it's really good to share those types of things because it can become empowerment and motivation for others. So I think we kind of agree on this particular topic and kind of feel the same way about it.
Definitely, definitely. I definitely agree with all your points with that. So then I have a question for you as well. What are some of the boundaries that you set for yourself to where you can keep your private life private and your public life public? So what are some of the boundaries that you've set?
Well, I definitely am a firm believer of setting boundaries first and foremost. And I know now, before my youngest daughter is kind of now coming more of age where it's okay. But when she was younger, I didn't like, share her name or her, even if she had a social media handle, like I didn't share that information because for me, that was like kind of off limits. That's none of your business. Don't be, don't try to deal with my child. Right. So I think, children and things of that nature are kind of off limits. So that's a boundary for me. Um, Outside of that, I really feel like that's kind of one of the only things. Probably financial stuff is probably a little TMI. That's like really not anybody's business unless that's, what you're talking about, which is not for me. So I don't really feel like that's appropriate to share. Um, and those are the only things I can think of right off the top of my head. More than anything, I just kind of share things that I feel would be helpful, beneficial to people or give them some type of motivation. That's kind of like my whole who I am as a person. I'm just always trying to add value. That's like my personal motto is to add, you know, to leave somebody better off than when I found them, to add value, and to leave, you know, something that lasts long after I'm gone. So if it doesn't have anything to do with any of those three things, then I'm probably not going to share it. So that's kind of what I base my sharing on.
Okay,
How about
that's
you?
understandable. One of the main things that I've set boundaries on with my private life online is, I'm careful and cautious about my movements and about when things are going good for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because for one, I think it's, I think that you can block your blessings before you receive them.
Mm,
Speaking on something before before it actually happens, and you're speaking about it online, people, unintentionally, put salt on your game. You know what I mean? Or they throw, water onto your fire, not knowing the damage that they're doing because they don't
mm,
understand the process. They don't understand that sometimes things take time. Sometimes a masterpiece takes, a certain vision and takes you a while to complete.
right.
So try to be careful and set boundaries when it comes to that. As excited as I am about it, as much as I want to share it with the public and as much as I want to share it with the world, I try to bite my tongue just a little bit and hold back some because, like I said, if my estimated time was a year and it takes 2 years instead of that year, everybody,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, he been starting this business or this company for a whole year and it ain't never happened yet.
Okay.
When is it going to happen? So that's one of the boundaries that I've set. One of the ones that you made a point to earlier was, when I travel or when I'm doing other things, I'm careful and cautious about the timing of when I post. So that is a boundary
Mm-hmm.
itself. Unless it's something like a live,
Mm-hmm.
typically don't post until I'm back from vacation or until, whatever it is that I've already, it's already happened. I'm just showing you
Right.
that I'm showing you what it is once it's already completed. As well as I don't believe in talking about some family situations and friend situations. I may tell a story or may tell a conversation that a friend and I have had, but I will never put it in a way to where that friend will feel like I've told their story or
Right.
shared something private about them on social media. So I may give a
Mm-hmm.
scenario if I feel it can help someone else, but I'll definitely be protective and guarded of that friend and or that family member who shared that information with me, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And I'm sure they appreciate that too.
Yeah, yes, it's definitely a learned experience as well as just treat somebody how you would want to be treated, and that tell you something, I don't expect you to go and put it all over social media and like throw my name all in there or
Okay.
area out there.
Tag me and all everything.
Right. Somebody knows exactly who you were talking about. That's definitely not a good look.
Exactly.
So then the follow-up question to that is how did you decide what moments to share and what moments to make a little more private? Like how do you if you have a situation or a scenario that you want to share with somebody, but then how do you decide what part of that you want to make private and what parts you don't?
I think that's one of the, gems about being seasoned. As you get to this big age, you can discern a little better, hopefully, what's appropriate and what's not appropriate to share. You can make some decisions or you hopefully have some wise counsel that if you're unsure, you can maybe ask a few people, hey, I'm thinking about sharing this. What do you think about that? So if I ever feel like I'm not sure, there's a handful of people who I would might run it across first and ask them what they think. And there has been times when people might say, yeah, you might not want to say that, or you might want to say it in this manner because somebody could take offense. Even though you're not trying to be offensive, they could take offense. So I appreciate being able to have a circle around me that I trust and that I value their opinions and I know they have my best interests at heart. So if at any time I want to just double check before I do something. I have a good group of people that I can run things by. So that's kind of one of the litmus tests that I use. What about yourself?
Um, for me, unless it's those things that we just talked about, I'm all out there. I'll put it all out there. I don't really have any filter. Like that's what this season, you know what I mean? Unless it's protecting someone, um,
Hmm.
or someone's, sensitive situation, I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna be afraid to speak on it, to say what it is, to give it to you as raw and as uncut as it comes to the mind. I think because I think as a people, we have been so sheltered and so scrutinized by being able to speak freely,
Absolutely.
and when other people don't care and they don't walk
Hmm.
shells and you know what I mean, and so I think there's things to be learned in that as well. you
Yeah,
know I'm being looked at as me being mean for saying stuff the way that I say it, or being blunt or bold or whatever that looks like. Sometimes I think there's lessons to be learned in that, and I've also learned sometimes you reach people by the way that you message. Because think about it in this aspect. When you go to, when some people go to church and they hear some things from their minister, they go because of the way that he ministers and he's able to minister.
hmm,
That doesn't
right.
mean ministry is for everyone and everyone is going to hear that message the same way through him.
That's
You know,
right.
but to me, the beauty in that is he's able to tap into his audience. He's able to tap into who he's speaking to, and they're able to listen to what the message is and the word is from him. I think we're losing a lot of that with society. We're trying to keep everything the same and trying to keep everybody on certain levels. Prime example: the late what is his name? I just drew a blank. Kevin Samuels.
Uh-huh.
Although Kevin Samuels had a very blunt approach and a very disrespectful approach to women in some aspects,
Hmm.
I believe that he was so needed and necessary to say what he said to a lot of women because let's be clear, most of his audience was women.
Mm.
And he was able to get them to listen by him being disrespectful to them because that's the only thing they can comprehend. Me
Mm.
taking a nice guy approach to things. Them women that listen to him ain't listening to me.
Right.
They exactly the way they got it from him. If I
Hmm.
there and said, "Ma'am, at 45 and you got 5 kids, is there anything that I can do for you or make your life better?" What? That's not what they to hear. That's not what they was gonna listen to.
Right.
Um, him coming on there and saying, "Ma'am, listen, you do not need to be out here trying to date with 5 kids." And
Like, ooh.
so that different messenger to me makes a huge difference in who can hear.
Absolutely. That's just a testament to the fact that everybody's not your person, everybody's not your audience. You're going to attract the people who, can hear you, who can feel you. Not that everybody has to agree with you, but, you're able to reach certain people. Basically, all of us are assigned, if you will, to certain people. So I agree. That makes a lot of good sense.
Is there some things that you used to post publicly that you now keep private?
For me, not really, because I mean, I just never really like posted a lot. Most of the things that I post is going to be like family related, or, most of my business has to do with public events or public, things. So I would post those things. It really was never like a lot of like super personal things or super, you know, things that would ruffle any feathers. I'm probably less of a feather rustler than you for sure. You got, that's probably a little bit of that Chi-town coming out. A little bit of that Midwest Chi-town coming
Well,
out. But and
hey,
and even though a lot of island girls are feisty, but I'm kind of more on the chill. You know me. I'm kind of chill and keep it positive. I'm kind of even keel most of the time. So
Okay. I mean, and for me, I don't really see much of a difference either. I think, a lot of people noticed that I never posted my daughter. The
True.
time I truly ever really posted her online is when she turned 18.
Exactly. Hmm.
And it's again that conversation that we were just having. I'm protective and private about family and about different situations and about different people, and I don't give people that kind of access
That's
to
right.
my family and to my private world. If you want to come for me, come for me, but if you mess with my
Right.
baby, it's a whole different type of war. So
That's right. And that's exactly what people will go for because they know once they know the thing that can, bring it out of you, that's what they're going to go for. So it is very wise to be protective of those types of things for sure.
yeah, so I waited until she was able to defend herself, and she knew she was pretty much grown before I posted her. So because everybody who knows me, of course, knew I had a daughter, but the world didn't really know because I didn't share that part of
That's
my life.
right.
And I would do that, and I would do that for my relationships, for any
Hmm.
I felt the need to protect and be guarded from, because of
Smart.
what we people don't give anybody a break when it comes to social media. So they
Not at all.
come your baby's hair, your baby's teeth, and your baby's whatever it is.
Everything.
And that's just not something that I felt was fair to her. I felt
Right.
that she should have her own presence and leave her own mark in this world without receiving the things that I've done in my life being attached to her. So I wanted her to
That's
be
right.
great on.
That's awesome. I'm sure she appreciates it.
Yeah, she wished I would post a little more though.
I'm sure that's her generation.
So, all right, well, let's jump into the sauce. What's saucy for you this week?
Let's see. Um, so for me, I have recently, about 16 days into a personal challenge to myself to work out every day this month. And,
Wow.
at first glance, people be like, girl, what? Look, mind your business, okay? I I never built the consistency and the discipline to work out on a regular basis because I didn't have to. I was blessed with great genes. I was blessed with a natural six pack. I ate anything I wanted to, did whatever, and I did not have to work out. But now that I am seasoned at this nice big age, and I have to deal with all the things, age and mother nature and hormones and all the things that I have absolutely nothing to do with. And I still wasn't working out and I still was eating what I wanted to eat. I realized that I may not have the results that I want if I kept up that behavior. So I learned a long time ago from a mentor that in order to create a new habit, you have to do something for 21 days. I only tried it one other time in life and it worked. The thing that I tried it on, I still to this day, I just can't even function if I don't do the thing. And so I decided to try that with my workout. And so I'm on day 17 straight of working out. Thank you so much. It hasn't been easy. Matter of fact, I got to work out when we get done with this podcast because I haven't got it in for the day yet. So I have to still get it done. Sometimes I get it in the afternoon. Sometimes it's in the evening. Sometimes it's at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning because I have to get it done. So that's the new thing that I am focused on this month, just trying to honor my commitment to myself and encourage other people. If you want to, create a new habit for yourself, it's never too late. Figure out something that you want to make an adjustment with, something that you want to change, and just get it done. So that's my sauce for this week. What about you, Skills?
I mean, that's beautiful. I like to commend you on that. I think that's a beautiful thing. I don't think most people have that discipline or that forethought to think that
Woo!
into trying to do something new at this big age. So I commend you.
Okay.
Um,
Thank you.
yeah, because that's a big deal. Because I can't even work out every day.
Tough, baby.
It's it's more so for scheduling reasons. I would love to be.
That's the only reason for me because I like working out, but the schedule,
Yeah,
well,
trying to fit it in is just is very difficult.
it is.
So for me, it's all about style in this, this season for me. Of course, you all know me as a stylist, so
True.
that's the fashion stylist. So that's what I've done for, the majority of my life, more than 30 years of my life. So for me, that it changes so much all the time. Definitely because I deal with different personalities and different clients.
Hmm.
Challenge myself into doing things different for me, because although I'm a stylist and I have this beautiful vision for everyone else, because everyone else that steps in front of me is a canvas. So
Hmm.
to put on that canvas as to what I want to put on them,
Right.
a beautiful thing. But for me, I'm always very plain, always very monochrome, the same color from head to toe. It very simple, still clean and classy. But I've done a few things with my own personal style lately to step it up and do a few little different pieces that I would never do before.
Okay.
Like your boy never wore leather. I've never been a leather dude, but like, hey, let me
Okay.
put on a little leather and see what this look like on me. You know what I mean? So it's been interesting, and the feedback from it has been amazing. So thank you for all those who have given me compliments on my new looks.
Ow.
Looks, because it's much appreciate. So
A
yeah.
compliment will always be some good motivation now. Ladies, the fellas like a good compliment. You're gonna get more of it if you give them some compliments.
All you need, if all I needed to do was throw on some leather, I could go. Why ain't nobody tell?
Ain't nobody tell you.
Didn't
Well,
know.
cool. Big ups for trying something new, stepping out of your comfort zone. It's not always easy, and it sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but you never know unless you try. So kudos to you. We look forward to seeing all the new updates to the fashion.
I'm gonna have to release a few visuals.
Yes, please. Please get the ladies what they want.
Do that. I can do that.
Awesome. Well, guys, we are going to wrap up. If you love this conversation, share it with your grown circle. Follow the podcast. We release our new episodes every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And keep living your truth out loud with a few boundaries, of course. So you guys keep it cool and stay seasoned. See you next time.